Hello, beautiful souls. Today, I want to dive into something that, on the surface, might sound uncomfortable, but I promise you it's absolutely transformative. We're talking about the art of being alone. In a world where we're constantly bombarded by notifications, social media, and expectations from others, it can be hard to embrace solitude. But when we learn to master being alone, we unlock a deeper connection to ourselves and the world around us. The truth is, being alone doesn't mean being lonely. It's an opportunity for self-love, reflection, and inner growth. When we give ourselves the space to simply be, we open the door to deep healing and incredible clarity. Let's take a moment to explore how we can use the art of being alone to nurture our spirits and live from a place of inner peace. Shift your perspective on solitude. Let's take a moment to completely reframe how we view being alone. So many of us grow up with a subtle but powerful belief that solitude is something to fear. From an early age, we are often taught to avoid being alone. Our society tends to glorify constant activity and interaction, pushing us to stay busy and surround ourselves with people at all times. If you're alone, there's often an unspoken assumption that something is wrong with you, or that you should be seeking out company or entertainment. But what if I told you that being alone is not only okay, it's essential for your growth, clarity, and overall well-being? What if solitude could be seen as a gift rather than a sentence to loneliness? Shifting your perspective on solitude begins by understanding that being alone doesn't equate to being lonely. We are conditioned to associate solitude with isolation, which leads to negative emotions like loneliness or even a sense of inadequacy. But what we fail to realize is that these feelings often arise from the pressure of external expectations, not the act of being alone itself. When you take the time to sit with your own thoughts, you start to separate what's really yours from what others have imposed upon you. In solitude, there is freedom. Freedom from the distractions of the outside world, freedom from the opinions of others, and most importantly, freedom to simply be. The first step in shifting your perspective is to start seeing solitude as a space for self-connection rather than a void to fill. How many of us constantly look for distractions when we're alone? The phone, the TV, scrolling through social media, these are all ways we keep ourselves busy because we've been conditioned to think that stillness is uncomfortable. But here's the truth: it is in those moments of stillness that we discover who we truly are, what we really desire, and what we need to heal from. The constant external noise fades away, and you're left with nothing but your own thoughts and feelings. And while that might feel daunting at first, it's the only way to truly get to know yourself on a deeper level. You can't hear your inner voice, your true desires, or your intuitive guidance if you're constantly running from your own company. Think about the moments when you've had the most profound insights, the breakthroughs that changed the course of your life. Were they not moments when you were by yourself, perhaps in nature, in a quiet room, or just reflecting without interruption? Solitude is the incubator for creativity, insight, and clarity. It's where you can reflect on your goals, values, and the person you are becoming. In the stillness, you have the space to ask yourself the big questions: what do I truly want in life? What are the things I'm holding on to that no longer serve me? What is my heart trying to tell me that I've been ignoring? Solitude is not the absence of something, but the presence of an opportunity to listen to your inner wisdom. Solitude also gives us the chance to heal. Often we're so busy filling our time with external noise that we neglect the emotional wounds we carry. These can be past hurts, disappointments, or unmet needs. When we allow ourselves the space to be alone, we also allow ourselves to truly feel what we've been holding back. And when we feel what we've been avoiding, we start to heal. We can't address emotions if we're constantly running away from them. Being alone creates an environment where we can process, release, and move forward. It's important to note that being alone doesn't mean being isolated or cut off from the world. It simply means creating a moment of separation where we can focus on ourselves and nourish our own well-being without outside interference. Solitude, in this sense, becomes an act of self-care where you acknowledge your needs and take time to replenish your energy. It's an opportunity to reconnect with what makes you feel alive, what brings you joy, and what sustains connected. But when we embrace solitude, we learn to be content with what we have within us. We realize that our worth is not determined by our relationships, our achievements, or our external circumstances. In solitude, we find the unconditional love and acceptance that can only come from within. As you begin to embrace the art of being alone, you'll notice that your inner world begins to shift. You'll feel a sense of empowerment as you realize that you can thrive without needing constant external stimulation. You'll feel more confident in your decisions because you've taken the time to reflect on what truly matters to you. And you'll feel at peace with yourself because you've learned to be present with your own thoughts, feelings, and desires without judgment. So I encourage you to begin viewing solitude not as something to be feared, but as a vital part of your life. It is in the quiet moments, the alone times, that you truly discover who you are. It's where you cultivate your deepest sense of peace, creativity, and clarity. When you learn to appreciate solitude, you'll find that you are never truly alone because you will always have yourself, and that is more than enough. Cultivate self-compassion. One of the most powerful and transformative practices you can develop in life is self-compassion. It's so easy to be kind and loving to others, to offer support and encouragement to the people we care about, but when it comes to ourselves, we often fall short. We are quick to criticize, judge, or dismiss our own emotions. We expect perfection, and when we don't measure up to our own unrealistic standards, we beat ourselves up. But self-compassion is the antidote to this harsh inner dialogue. It's about treating yourself with the same kindness, understanding, and care that you would offer to a friend or even to a stranger. Self-compassion starts with recognizing that you are human. You are not meant to be perfect, and you don't have to have it all together all the time. Life is messy, full of mistakes, setbacks, and moments of vulnerability. And that's okay. In fact, it's the very imperfection of being human that makes us relatable, compassionate, and open to growth. When we allow ourselves to be imperfect, we can extend compassion toward ourselves, understanding that we are doing the best we can with what we have. This is the foundation of self-compassion, the acceptance of our own flaws, limitations, and struggles without judgment. Instead of treating ourselves with criticism, we need to approach ourselves with gentleness. When something goes wrong or we make a mistake, how do we respond? Do we beat ourselves up, replaying the situation in our minds and focusing on what went wrong? Or do we acknowledge the mistake, learn from it, and move forward with kindness toward ourselves? Self-compassion is about embracing our flaws, knowing that mistakes are simply opportunities for learning and growth. They do not define us, they refine us. Reconnect with your inner voice. In the hustle and bustle of modern life, it's easy to lose touch with your inner voice, the quiet, powerful wisdom that resides within each of us. We're constantly surrounded by external noise, the opinions of others, the pressure of societal expectations, the demands of work and relationships. It can become so overwhelming that we forget to listen to our own intuition, our true desires, and our deepest values. Reconnecting with your inner voice is a practice that requires intention, patience, and a willingness to turn inward, away from the distractions of the outside world. Your inner voice is more than just your thoughts or feelings. It's the part of you that knows what's truly right for you, that understands your authentic path in life. It is connected to your soul, your essence, and your unique purpose. When you listen closely, it provides guidance, comfort, and clarity, helping you navigate life's challenges with confidence and grace. However, this voice can easily get drowned out by the noise of your daily life. When you're constantly on autopilot, caught up in external demands, rushing from task to task, it becomes harder to hear what your inner wisdom is telling you. The first step in reconnecting with your inner voice is creating space for your inner voice. The next step is learning to trust that voice. We often doubt our own instincts, second-guessing our choices and looking to others for validation. But the more you listen to your inner voice, the more you realize that it is always guiding you toward what is best for you. It knows the truth about what you want, who you are, and what you need to thrive. Trusting this voice means stepping into a place of self-assurance. You no longer need to rely on external sources of approval or validation, because you know that your inner wisdom has your best interests at heart. Part of reconnecting with your inner voice also involves letting go of fear and doubt. Often we silence our inner wisdom because we fear the unknown or worry about making mistakes. We may question whether our intuition is right or whether it will lead us astray. But the truth is, your inner voice is not concerned with perfection, it's concerned with alignment. It wants you to live authentically, to follow your true path, and to make decisions that resonate with who you truly are. By trusting your inner voice, you are choosing to let go of the fear of being wrong and instead embracing the courage to step forward in faith, knowing that every choice, even if imperfect, is part of your growth and journey. As you reconnect with your inner voice, you will notice how it influences your life in positive ways. Decisions become clearer. You feel more in tune with your needs and desires. You'll start to recognize the subtle signs that guide you, whether it's a gut feeling, a sudden burst of inspiration, or a quiet nudge that leads you in the right direction. When you learn to listen, you begin to see that your inner voice is not just a passive force, it is actively working with you, always guiding you toward what you truly desire. Reconnecting with your inner voice also means embracing the practice of self-reflection. This is not about criticizing yourself or digging into past mistakes. It's about taking the time to understand your feelings, your motivations, and your patterns. Reflection allows you to notice the subtle ways in which your inner voice has been trying to communicate with you all along. Nurture your creative energy. Creativity is often viewed as something reserved for artists, musicians, or writers, but the truth is, creativity is an innate part of every single one of us. It is the force that drives us to innovate, to express ourselves, and to solve problems in unique ways. Yet, in the hustle and bustle of daily life, many of us suppress or neglect this natural wellspring of energy. We become so consumed with the demands of our work, relationships, and responsibilities that we forget how vital it is to nourish and nurture our creative energy. But when we make time for creativity, when we allow ourselves to connect with this powerful source within us, we open up a world of possibility, growth, and transformation. Nurturing your creative energy begins with acknowledging that creativity is not just about making something tangible, it's about tapping into a way of thinking, a state of mind that allows us to see beyond the obvious and embrace new possibilities. Creativity is about looking at the world through a different lens, one that is open, curious, and unafraid of experimentation. In order to nurture this energy, we must first give ourselves permission to be open to the process, to explore without the pressure of perfection or judgment. Creativity isn't about getting it right, it's about the willingness to try, to fail, and to try again. By letting go of any rigid expectations, we give ourselves the freedom to explore and express ourselves authentically. One of the most powerful ways to nurture your creative energy is to create space for it in your life. Just like you make time for work, for social activities, or for self-care, you must intentionally carve out time for creative expression. This might mean setting aside a few hours a week to work on a passion project, picking up a hobby you've always wanted to try, or simply allowing yourself to be present in the moment, free from distraction, so that new ideas can emerge. The key is to make creativity a priority, not something that you only turn to when you have time. This intentional commitment sends a powerful message to your subconscious that creativity is important and that you value it. Another way to nurture your creative energy is to embrace curiosity. Creativity thrives when we allow ourselves to explore new ideas, try new experiences, and step outside of our comfort zones. The world around us is filled with inspiration, but too often we close ourselves off from it by sticking to what we know, what feels safe. Curiosity invites us to look at things with fresh eyes, to question the status quo, and to challenge ourselves to see things from a different perspective. Whether it's trying a new activity, traveling to a new place, or simply reading a book outside of your usual genre, expanding your world in small ways can spark new creative insights and open the door to new ideas. Creativity also requires the freedom to experiment without fear of judgment. In our adult lives, we often forget the importance of play. We get so focused on productivity and achievement that we forget how essential it is to engage in activities simply for the joy of it. Play doesn't have to be frivolous, it can be a powerful way to spark new creative connections. When we play, we let go of expectations, relax our minds, and open ourselves to spontaneous moments of inspiration. Whether it's doodling in a notebook, dancing in your living room, or cooking without a recipe, engaging in playful activities allows your creativity to flow freely and without constraint. Sometimes nurturing creative energy also means allowing yourself rest. It may sound counterintuitive, but rest is a crucial part of the creative process. When we constantly push ourselves to produce, to perform, or to create, we burn out. Creativity requires space, and that space is often filled through rest and rejuvenation. When you allow yourself time to rest, to take breaks, or to step away from immerse yourself in, and the media you consume all have an impact on your creative energy. When you spend time with people who are supportive, open-minded, and inspiring, you create an environment that fosters creativity. Similarly, immersing yourself in nature, visiting museums, or engaging in activities that spark your imagination can all serve as powerful sources of inspiration. In addition, mindfully consuming content, whether it's art, music, or literature, can help fuel your own creative process. Inspiration is everywhere sometimes. All it takes is a shift in perspective to see it. Equally important is the practice of letting go of perfectionism. Perfectionism can be one of the greatest obstacles to creativity because it creates a constant sense of pressure and fear. The pursuit of perfection often leads to self-criticism and a fear of failure, both of which stifle creative expression. Creativity is inherently messy, unpredictable, and filled with mistakes, but it is in the mistakes that growth occurs. When you let go of the need for everything to be perfect, you allow yourself to explore freely, to take risks, and to learn along the way. This mindset opens up endless possibilities because it creates a space where your creativity can flow without being confined by unrealistic expectations. As you nurture your creative energy, it's essential to practice patience with yourself. Creativity doesn't always happen on demand. Some days the ideas will flow freely, and other days you may feel blocked or uninspired. This is completely normal. The key is to stay connected to your creative energy, even on the days when it feels like it's not there. Trust that creativity has its own timing, and by continuing to show up, you are creating the conditions for new ideas to emerge when the time is right. Be kind to yourself in the process, and remember that creativity is not a race, it's a journey. Nurturing your creative energy is not a one-time act, it's an ongoing process of honoring your curiosity, embracing play, and creating space for inspiration to flow. It's about trusting the process even when it feels slow and allowing yourself the grace to rest and recharge when necessary. By making creativity a priority, you tap into an infinite well of energy and possibility that can transform not only your work, but your entire life. Whether you're creating a masterpiece or simply expressing yourself in small ways, nurturing your creative energy allows you to stay connected to your true self, to the joy of discovery, and to the endless potential that lies within you. Foster a sense of inner security. In a world that constantly changes, filled with uncertainty, external pressures, and shifting circumstances, one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself is a deep sense of inner security. It's easy to become reliant on external factors for validation, peace, or stability, whether that's seeking approval from others, clinging to material possessions, or basing our worth on success or social standing. However, this type of security is always fleeting, dependent on things beyond our control. True security comes from within. It's a sense of rootedness, confidence, and peace that arises from knowing and trusting in yourself, regardless of the external chaos or challenges that may come your way. Fostering a sense of inner security begins with building a foundation of self-trust. When you trust yourself, you no longer need to seek approval or validation from others because you know that you are enough just as you are. Self-trust means being able to make decisions with confidence, knowing that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. It involves understanding your own abilities, intuition, and judgment, and having the courage to follow your own path, even when it feels uncertain. Trusting yourself allows you to navigate life's challenges with a calm assurance, knowing that you can always rely on your own strength and wisdom. One key aspect of cultivating self-trust is honoring your boundaries. Inner security thrives when you have clear boundaries that protect your energy, your well-being, and your values. Without boundaries, we often feel overwhelmed, depleted, or taken advantage of. When you establish healthy boundaries, whether in your relationships, work life, or social commitments, you create a solid foundation that supports your sense of self. Boundaries are not just about saying no to others, but also about saying yes to your own needs. By standing firm in your boundaries, you reinforce the message to yourself that your needs, your peace, and your well-being matter. This is a powerful act of self-respect and an essential part of fostering inner security. Another important aspect of inner security is developing emotional resilience. Life is unpredictable, and there will always be moments of difficulty, loss, and pain. However, fostering emotional resilience allows you to face these challenges with a sense of steadiness and strength. Resilience is not about avoiding pain or pretending to be invincible. It's about building the capacity to feel, process, and move through adversity without being consumed by it. When you cultivate emotional resilience, you learn to ride the waves of life with greater ease. You recognize that difficult emotions, while uncomfortable, are part of the human experience and don't define you. You can move through them, learn from them, and come out stronger on the other side. To foster inner security, it's also essential to develop a deep sense of self-worth. Too often, we tie our sense of value to our achievements, appearance, or external recognition. We live in a world that tells us our worth is contingent on what we do, what we have, or how we compare to others. But true inner security comes when we realize that our worth is inherent, not dependent on anything outside of us. You are valuable simply because you exist, and no external factor can change that. When you begin to internalize this truth, you stop seeking external validation for your worth and instead stand firm in your own sense of value. This realization is incredibly freeing because it allows you to navigate life's challenges without the fear of losing your sense of self. Additionally, fostering inner security involves developing a practice of self-compassion. Life can be tough, and we often make mistakes or fall short of our own expectations. But when we cultivate self-compassion, we treat ourselves with the same kindness, understanding, and patience that we would offer to a friend. Self-compassion is about accepting our imperfections and giving ourselves grace in moments of struggle. It's about learning to be gentle with ourselves when we fail, instead of harshly criticizing or punishing ourselves. When you treat yourself with compassion, you build a strong, nurturing inner foundation that helps you feel secure and grounded, even in difficult times. Another key to fostering inner security is nurturing a positive relationship with your mind. So often we become prisoners of our own thoughts, letting negative beliefs or self-doubt shape our reality. But inner security arises when you learn to manage your thoughts, not let them control you. This doesn't mean suppressing or ignoring negative thoughts. Rather, it's about becoming aware of them and choosing not to identify with them. You begin to recognize that your thoughts are not facts and that you have the power to shift your perspective. By cultivating a positive, empowering mindset, you build an inner strength that makes you less susceptible to external circumstances or the opinions of others. Lastly, fostering inner security requires living in alignment with your values. When you live according to your core values, you feel a deep sense of integrity and purpose. Inner security thrives when your actions, decisions, and beliefs are consistent with what you truly value. This alignment gives you a sense of stability and strength, because you know that no matter what happens externally, you are living true to yourself. When you honor your values, you create a life that feels authentic and fulfilling, and this authenticity becomes a powerful anchor in times of uncertainty. By fostering inner security, you create an unshakable foundation of self-trust, emotional resilience, and self-worth that allows you to navigate the highs and lows of life with confidence and peace. This inner security is not something that can be easily disrupted by external circumstances because it is grounded in the unwavering belief that you are enough and that you can handle whatever comes your way. It is the key to living a life that feels steady, fulfilling, and authentically yours. Practice presence in the moment. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to find ourselves constantly rushing from one task to the next, consumed by future goals or past experiences. Our minds race ahead, planning, worrying, reflecting, but rarely do we allow ourselves to simply be in the present moment. Yet the present moment is where life truly unfolds. It's the only moment we ever have. And yet it's so often overshadowed by distractions, anxieties, or the constant pull of what's next. Practicing presence is about reconnecting with the here and now, grounding yourself in the current experience, and fully engaging with what is happening in this moment without judgment, expectation, or distraction. The first step in practicing presence is learning to focus your attention. We live in a world designed to pull our attention in a million different directions. Social media notifications, work emails, and the demands of daily life all compete for our focus. As a result, we often find ourselves physically present in a room, but mentally elsewhere. To be truly present, we must train ourselves to consciously direct our attention to what is before us. This means tuning out the external noise, letting go of the mental chatter, and focusing solely on the experience at hand. Whether you're having a conversation with a loved one, eating a meal, or walking in nature, giving your full attention to the moment allows you to experience it more deeply and meaningfully. Another important aspect of practicing presence is letting go of judgment. So often our minds are clouded with judgments about ourselves, others, or situations. We label experiences as good or bad, right or wrong, without allowing them to just be. This constant filtering of the present moment through our judgmental lens prevents us from fully experiencing it. Instead of labeling, try to approach each moment with curiosity and acceptance. See things as they are without the need to label or control them. This practice of non-judgment allows you to experience life with greater ease, acceptance, and peace. When you let go of judgment, you can simply be present with what is happening, without getting caught up in expectations or reactions. Practicing presence also involves being aware of your breath. The breath is a powerful anchor to the present moment. It's always with us, and it is constantly changing, reflecting our inner state. When we focus on our breath, we return to the here and now. By taking deep, intentional breaths, we can calm the mind and ground ourselves in the present moment. Whenever you feel overwhelmed, anxious, or distracted, take a moment to close your eyes and focus on your breath. This simple act of breathing brings you back to the present and helps quiet the mental noise that often prevents us from fully engaging with the world around us. Your breath is a bridge between your mind and body, a tool to reconnect you to the present experience. Awareness of your senses is another powerful tool in practicing presence. One way to anchor yourself in the moment is to engage with your senses. What do you see, hear, smell, taste, and feel right now? Take a moment to notice the textures, sounds, and colors around you. When we engage our senses fully, we experience life in a richer, more vivid way. This act of sensory awareness pulls us out of our mental distractions and back into the present moment. For example, when eating a meal, savor each bite and notice the flavors and textures. When walking outside, feel the ground beneath your feet and the air on your skin. By bringing full attention to our senses, we can experience life more deeply and feel more connected to our surroundings. In addition, letting go of the need to control is a critical aspect of practicing presence. So often we get caught up in the desire to control outcomes, to predict the future, or to manipulate the present moment in order to get what we want. But life is unpredictable, and control is often an illusion. The more we try to control, the more we resist the natural flow of life, creating tension and stress. Practicing presence means surrendering the need to control everything and instead allowing life to unfold as it will. This does not mean becoming passive or apathetic, but rather it's about accepting the impermanence of each moment and being open to what it brings. Letting go of control allows you to move through life with greater ease and flow, trusting that everything is unfolding as it should. Another powerful practice for cultivating presence is mindful observation. This involves taking a step back from the busyness of life and observing your thoughts, feelings, and surroundings without attachment. Rather than reacting to every thought or emotion that arises, you simply notice them. You observe the ebb and flow of your thoughts as if you're an impartial witness, acknowledging them without judgment or identification. This practice allows you to create a sense of spaciousness between you and your thoughts, reducing the grip they have over you. You begin to see that thoughts are just mental events, they don't define you or dictate your actions. With mindfulness, you create a space for conscious choice and response rather than automatic reaction. Incorporating gratitude into your practice of presence is another powerful tool. When you bring awareness to what you're grateful for in the present moment, you shift your focus from what's lacking or uncertain to what is abundant and already present. Gratitude anchors you in the now, reminding you of the many blessings, small and large, that you experience every day. Whether it's the warmth of the sun on your face, a kind word from a friend, or simply the fact that you are alive in this moment, gratitude helps you appreciate the present and feel more connected to it. When you focus on what is going well in your life, you cultivate a mindset that is grounded in the present rather than dwelling on past regrets or future worries. Letting go of expectations is another essential part of practicing presence. Often we enter into situations with preconceived notions about how things should go or how we should feel. These expectations can create resistance when things don't unfold the way we imagined. By releasing expectations and allowing experiences to unfold naturally, we free ourselves from disappointment and frustration. This openness to whatever arises allows us to meet each moment as it is, without clinging to a specific outcome. It's about embracing the flow of life, rather than forcing it to conform to our idealized version. Finally, engage in daily practices that foster presence, such as meditation, yoga, or mindful walking. These practices help train your mind to stay in the present moment. Meditation, for example, encourages you to focus on your breath and cultivate awareness of your thoughts, gently guiding your attention back to the present when it wanders. Similarly, yoga encourages mindfulness and movement, allowing you to connect with your body and breath as you practice. Daily mindful practices create the habit of presence, making it easier to remain grounded and centered throughout your day. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes to stay present in all areas of your life. Discover your true power. Every one of us holds within us a deep well of untapped potential, an inner strength that, when fully recognized and activated, has the power to transform not only our own lives, but the world around us. Unfortunately, too often we forget about this power. We become distracted by external influences, societal expectations, and the opinions of others, all of which overshadow our ability to see and embrace our true potential. But deep within, your true power is waiting for you to rediscover it. It's the power of self-awareness, the power of choice, and the power to create the life you truly desire. This power isn't something external that you must attain. It's something intrinsic that already resides within you. The first step in discovering your true power is to awaken to your own potential. This means recognizing that you are not defined by your past mistakes, by your circumstances, or by the limitations you may have imposed on yourself. Often, we go through life believing we are confined by certain boundaries, whether they are financial, physical, or emotional. We think we can't break free from these constraints because we've been told they are our reality. But the truth is, those boundaries are only as real as we allow them to be. When we begin to question the limits we've accepted, we create space for new possibilities. Awakening to your potential means realizing that you are capable of far more than you might have ever imagined. It's about understanding that you have unique gifts, talents, and strengths that are waiting to be expressed. Once you've begun to awaken to your potential, the next step is to embrace your uniqueness. Each of us is one of a kind, with a combination of experiences, perspectives, and abilities that no one else has. Your power comes from fully stepping into who you are, not from trying to fit into someone else's mold or live up to external standards. So often we try to conform to what society or others expect of us, but in doing so, we stifle our true selves. To discover your true power, you must release the need for approval and embrace the authenticity of who you are. This means letting go of the fear of judgment and stepping into your true self with courage and conviction. When you allow yourself to be unapologetically you, you tap into a deep wellspring of energy and confidence that propels you forward. An essential part of discovering your true power is learning to trust yourself and your intuition. We all have an inner wisdom, an intuitive knowing that guides us toward the right decisions and actions. Unfortunately, many of us are disconnected from this inner voice because we are too focused on the noise of the outside world. But when you tune into your intuition, you access a powerful source of insight and guidance that can help you navigate life with clarity and confidence. Trusting yourself means believing that you have the ability to make choices that align with your highest good. It means listening to that inner voice that knows the way, even when the path is uncertain. Your intuition is like a compass, helping you navigate the twists and turns of life. And when you trust it, you strengthen your connection to your true power. In addition to trusting yourself, you must also take responsibility for your life. This means accepting full ownership of your choices, your actions, and the way you respond to life's challenges. It's easy to blame others or external circumstances for where we are in life, but when you take responsibility, you empower yourself to make the changes needed to move forward. By acknowledging that you have the power to shape your own life, you reclaim your personal agency. You realize that you are not a passive participant in your life, but an active creator of your reality. Taking responsibility for your life means letting go of victimhood and stepping into the driver's seat of your journey. When you do this, you become unstoppable. Another key to discovering your true power is setting clear intentions and goals. Your power is magnified when you direct it towards something meaningful. Too often, we wander through life without a clear sense of direction, reacting to circumstances rather than proactively creating our future. Setting intentions allows you to align your energy and focus with a specific purpose. It's about deciding what you want to create in your life and committing to it. When you set clear goals, you provide yourself with a roadmap that guides you toward your desired destination. Each goal becomes a stepping stone, and every small action you take toward it is an expression of your power. Having a clear sense of purpose gives you the motivation and clarity to move forward, even in the face of challenges or setbacks. To truly discover your power, it's important to develop resilience. Life is filled with ups and downs, and often the path to realizing your potential is not a straight line. There will be challenges, obstacles, and moments of doubt. But resilience is what allows you to bounce back from adversity, learn from failure, and keep moving forward despite setbacks. Resilience is not about avoiding difficulty, it's about cultivating the strength to persevere in the face of it. When you build resilience, you strengthen your ability to navigate life's storms with grace and determination. You realize that challenges are not roadblocks, but opportunities for growth and self-discovery. Resilience gives you the power to continue on your path, no matter how many times you fall or face obstacles. Furthermore, discovering your true power requires cultivating a mindset of abundance. So often we operate from a place of scarcity, believing that resources, whether time, money, love, or opportunities, are limited. This mindset can hold us back and keep us in a state of fear or lack. But when you shift your mindset to one of abundance, you begin to see the limitless possibilities that surround you. You realize that there is more than enough for everyone, and that your success does not come at the expense of someone else's. An abundance mindset allows you to approach life with optimism and openness, knowing that opportunities will continue to unfold as you move forward. It gives you the confidence to take risks, pursue your dreams, and believe that the universe is on your side. Another crucial element of discovering your true power is embracing growth and learning. Your power doesn't come from staying stagnant, it comes from your willingness to evolve, to learn new things, and to expand your knowledge and skills. The most powerful people are those who are committed to their personal development and who embrace the lessons that life offers them. When you commit to continuous growth, you unlock new dimensions of your potential. You realize that every experience, whether positive or negative, has something to teach you. Embracing a growth mindset means seeing challenges as opportunities for learning rather than as obstacles to success. The more you grow, the more confident you become in your ability to create the life you desire. Finally, to fully discover your true power, you must connect with your purpose. Purpose is the driving force behind everything you do. When you are aligned with your true purpose, you feel energized, motivated, and inspired. Your purpose gives your life meaning and direction, and it acts as a compass that guides you through difficult times. Discovering your purpose is not always an easy or quick process, but it is a journey worth taking. It requires introspection, self-awareness, and the courage to follow the path that feels right for you, even when it's not the most conventional or expected path. When you live with purpose, you become more focused, more driven, and more powerful in everything you do. In conclusion, discovering your true power is not about seeking something outside of yourself, but rather unlocking the immense strength and potential that already resides within you. It is about awakening to your unique gifts, trusting your intuition, taking responsibility for your choices, and embracing the challenges that come your way with resilience and confidence. Your power is in your ability to create, to grow, and to step fully into who you are. When you embrace your authenticity, set clear intentions, and align your actions with your purpose, you tap into a wellspring of energy that propels you forward. Remember, the journey to discovering your true power is not a destination, but an ongoing process, a continuous unfolding of your potential. As you move through life, always keep in mind that you are capable of far more than you can imagine, and the world is waiting for you to show up as your fullest, most powerful self. So take a deep breath, trust in your strength, and move forward with confidence. The power to create the life you desire is already within you. Now is the time to claim it.